90% of the mid laners in the LCK, but against Showmaker you do. And he just instantly puts the Zoe on the table and says, "You don't know me."
That is so much single target pick though. If this is going to be locked in, it's kind of ridiculous.
Be pretty scary to play Lulu into all this.
Certainly would be.
Not going to last very long against all this damage.
All right, Showmaker was having a little bit of a giggle, but just slams the Zoe. There it is.
CV Max was like the lock-in button's right there.
Yeah, by the way.
Don't have to give us any suspense anymore.
As he's cycling through some weird stuff, or at least Korea is. Let's see what they're actually going to lock in.
It is, I think something like Kennen does make sense, but the... Like if you go for Aurelia, you are hampering your draft, I think, in so many other ways. I think that the Gwen is going to be very strong in team fights. And
off, but that's not how things are going to be going this time. As Hook to Stardust in this bottom lane, as Paddle Start comes out there from Showmaker, but not exactly the longest of range. As Electrocute going to be traded. The area is what Showmaker has elected for this time. Potentially, the 2v2 could be coming through. There's a hook onto Taeyeon though. Does have to use the cleanse to start this fight off. Smash wanting to try and find the kill onto Taeyeon. Korea turns it. Looks to slow down Lehens. With the Eclipse running, Korea is in a lot of trouble and does get the Shield of Daybreak. Korea so close to dead, but is going to survive.
How quickly can he take Smash out is the question.
Yeah, that's the big deal. Zenith Blade is going to connect, and that means that there is a kill going over to Lehen. Sponge gets out of turret range, though, as Lucid looking to try and chase him down.
And a Randuin's.
Yeah, there's a hook to start this one off as Eclipse is getting some work done. There's the flash out. Lehens just pops like a balloon. Down goes the Kiana, though, in response as Sponge will get stunned up. Paddlestar is going to get spell shielded nicely. There's the flash in from Showmaker, picks up the kill, and then steals a flash to get out. Now Taeyeon's dead as well as the hail of arrows rains down, and DK moved to 3-2.
Korea having a great day.
Yeah, is it Korea POM? Like, what's happening here?
It might be.
Portal jump here from Showmaker gets him back to where he doesn't want to be. Now Lucid having to bounce his way out, but that's not going to work. And Sponge and Scout.
Cleanse here does have his flash.
Yeah, Lehen's going to start this one up. Can tank for a while with that Eclipse running, but Korea is moving forward. Lehen's is very dead, and Smash is actually alive. So just a dive that isn't really what they were looking for. Taeyeon just walking away on fire right now, but Sponge is moving in. Korea looking worse for wear now as the Nocturne looking to make his way down, and Lucid wanting to get this one done is going to show up. Smash at 100 health, though, needs to be very careful as there's a piercing arrow connecting onto Taeyeon. Korea likely to die as there's a paranoia. He goes in. Sponge looking to try and make his way out. Dustbringer might be able to speed him up, but Showmaker is rotating down as much as he can, as he does get into the Phaelite there. Anchor is not quite going to connect. There is the paranoia coming down as Showmaker. Let's see whether he can get out of this. The answer is no.
Well, I don't know if Lucid can make a play here on the bottom.
Flash out from King and Ashiu going very aggressive. There's the ulti back, though, as now without that needlework available, Shiu could be in trouble. However, if you land all the snips, now Lehens moves over. Lucid diving on forward. Does try and save his control ward, but isn't going to be able to do so. There's the flash in from Lehens. They get the Solar Flare onto Lucid, and Korea realizes he's not going to be able to help here. There's the Arc of Judgment. And Taeyeon able to take down the Kiana. Flash out, Chains of Corruption there from Smash just to keep his support alive in this mid-game that's coming up. But it could be better as Chains of Corruption are going to come out. Solar Flare is going to hold on to Korea as Lehens uses him to taxi his way out. There is a hook connecting, but Taeyeon's going to make his way in. And that might be a bridge too far here as Scout is rotating down and Korea is very, very dead. There's an angle onto Scout, but the Supreme Display of Talent is not exactly named well. And Paranoia comes in. Sponge takes the kill onto Lucid, and he's dead for the 4th time. Definitely does. They're going to start it. Kingen gets underneath his turret here, as Needlework has already been used. See whether Shiu does find the angle. That's a great use of the public execution, but he's still going to be dead because DK just sent everyone.
Some mistakes there, but they know where their bread is buttered. In this game, they're like, Okay, it wasn't working well. Smash gonna have to cleanse here.
Yeah, immediate cleanse does come on down as he throws out the ulti. Scout moves in though, and boom goes the Varus. Showmaker now looking for a bit of an angle. His career is in position. That is a very dead Aurora. And she will go down.
Does come through, and they end up getting the kill on Scout as we're having a fight here.
Yeah, Hens is in no man's land one more time. Does get stunned up by the Kiana, and he will be going down. Shiu is able to snip him up.
5v5 without a crazy wombo as... Alright, wombo.
Yeah, Shiu is not quite allowed to be here. Does use the flash, but there's a public execution, and down will go the Gwen. Does have a few snips in him. Next port of call as far as the fight is concerned, and DK probably don't want to give this one away for free, but there goes the paranoia. Sponge gets on in there, the flash out from Lucid, but I don't know whether he's going to survive. He does get the ulti down, but Smash is not going to live through this one, and all of them just take a nap. Lucid, Showmaker, and Smash dead in the blink of an eye.
Team.
Well, they were dead, Wolf. That's the unfortunate reality, and so is Showmaker. I think DK's answer is, let's just keep starting fights and seeing what we can get done. There's the paranoia. They're looking to try and turn it here. Solar Flare not quite going to connect, but it doesn't really matter as the Kiana is just dead. Some needlework out onto Scout here as the snipes are starting to come on through. Taeyoon trying to fight back here, gets the knock-up, does career. And now Shiu looking for that angle. The Arc of Ruin is going to slow him up. And it's just so difficult to make something happen. Public execution snatches him out of the air. My God, that was cool from Kingen. Nice. And Showmaker just takes his 5th death of the game.
Burst. I got the sleep, and he pops.
Well, Paranoia comes down. The inner turret is already dead. Flash out from Shiu. The rest of the team are going to show up, though, as DK look to try and fight this one back. Kingen rotating down. Solar Flare is fantastic, and the Gwen is not immune. Slurkle comes in, but doesn't get too much joy here as DK with one missing, trying to continue fighting this one out, but Scout in with a great stasis with his Zhonya's, and Smash just has to cleanse to get himself to safety, leaves the rest of his team in the dust, and Nongshim, I think, are just going to put an end to this game and bring us to a game number 3.
We knew it was going to be one-sided from the draft. We just didn't know which direction, but some arrogance, I feel, in some of those bottom-side plays from D+. Some backfires, and a complete snowball rolls down the hill as Sponge runs away with the game on this Nocturne.
Yeah, Sponge playing a fantastic game this time around, but Nongshim ultimately just getting it together. I think top side of the map definitely playing well, but it's the mid-jungle today for Nongshim.